Round 9 of the Protech Shock Sport Specials then. The cars being released out onto the circuit, and this is how they will line up for the 13-minute plus 1 lap race. It's Andy Hiley in the Kronos on pole position, number 53, but alongside him the first of 3 eclipses in a row, number 99 Martin Gambling, the tank take special as it now is. Second row, number 17 on the inside will be Paul Boyd. Next to him Paul Collingwood, number 11. Row 3, Stuart Much in the MEV MX150R. Very rapid machine, that one. Watch out for that. Next to him is Austin Greenway as the Elite Pulse, number 41, makes its return to the tracks. Number 1 is Lee M in the ProComp LA Gold. And next to him is number 25, Chris Pike, in a similar car, but running in Class B rather than Class A. On to the 5th row, Darren Berris in the V8 engine Westfield, number 40. Anton Landon, number 64, in the Sienna Mark II. Stephen Ward and Rob Johnston, 33 and 82, lining up on the 6th row of the grid. Stephen Ward in the Typhon and Rob Johnston in the Sienna Mark II. The 7th row will be 13, Colin Charles in the Sienna MX 500 and Gerard O'Donoghue in the second of the Class C MEV MX 150Rs. And on row 6, David Winter in the low cost, number 35, and Nigel Brown, the stalwart of kit cars and sports specials, in the number 10 Silver Phaser. Row 9, Stephen Wells up from the Isle of Wight in his Sub-Zero, number 74. He's next to Martin Buckland, the next of the Class B cars, in the STM Phoenix. Then on row 10, Ben Powney and Steve Paddock, 19th and 20th respectively in cars 37 and 57. They're the first 2 Mazda low costs. On the 11th row of the grid, 67 and 58 I should say. 67 is Ben Coles and 58 is Mickey Scott in Arrow and MF MX150R respectively. On the 12th row, 44 and 81, 44 being Stephen Lansdale's ProComp LA Gold and 81 Oliver Batten in another Mazda low cost. Moving on to the 13th row, another Mazda low cost for the ex-jockey, James Millman, number 63. He's next to Stuart Thompson's Caterham Sigmax, that of the championship leader, number 16. Mark Hextall, by the sounds of it, isn't going to be there on the 14th row in his Westfield, but we should have Martin Hayward's number 65 Silver Phoenix. Lee Derby, 77, has David Jones, number 50, alongside him in their Mazda low cost on row 15. And on row 16, David Boucher and Bridget Smart in Mazda low cost and Silver Phoenix respectively. On to the 17th row, that's going to be Mick Grant's Tiger and Bradley Snow's Silver Phoenix. Then Sylvia Much's MEV, Samira Bid's Master Low Cost, and Silver Phoenixes for Alan Robinson and Marcus Roskill will round out, I should say, what should be a field of almost 38 cars, with just 1 or 2 missing, we reckon, from the grid. So they're starting to form up now, as you can see, for this 13 minutes plus 1 lap race, the first of 2 today for the Protech Shock Sport Specials Championship. And on pole position it is their number 53 Andy Hiley in the Kronos, multiple champion in kit cars in the Taydak. He's had this Kronos out actually in RGB Sports 1000 a few years ago before converting it back to a conventional car engine.
You mentioned Taydak there, of course. That's the mark of a sports car founded by Tommy Clapham in Keighley in Yorkshire, who contested the European 2-litre Championship with the likes of Francois Migaud and Peter Hansen driving the cars. And the Taydak that came out in kit cars was rather different, just kind of the body grew out of the moulds from the original Taydak. Yeah,
and it ran a Duratec engine, I think, ultimately, didn't it? And Hiley, not far away from Keighley, based in Huddersfield himself. So that's the car you can see on the right-hand side of the front. You can actually see it's a much bigger car than some of the cars around it, including that of Martin Gambling in the red Eclipse that's next to it. Well, that's quite hard to tell that it's a red car with the sun glinting off it. 2 more of those Eclipse SM1s, which are very nice-looking cars. Paul Boyd, 17, and Paul Collingwood on the 2nd row of the grid. And then you've got Stuart Much in the MEV MX150R, and I predict that could well have made up places by the time it gets to Abbey for the first time. And Austin Greenway in the Elite Pulse next to him. I've not actually seen what colour that car is. It was a yellow and black car when it was run by Eddie.
I think they've got plenty of yellow and black paint at Elite, haven't they?
Yes, I think they have, and much needed in Ginetta racing. So last few cars coming into position. It's a big grid here, 19 rows worth of it. I can see there are 1 or 2 gaps, but mostly they're all there.
Last car's coming into stage at the very back, Ian.
It should be Marcus Roskill, I think, at the back. So there are our front row starters. Andy Hiley and Martin Gambling. Red light goes on then. And away they go. And it's a good start by Gambling from pole position. Actually, he's just got the jump there on Andy Hiley in the Kronos. They've got the slippery surface flag at Abbey, so it's Hiley that is chasing after Martin Gambling. It's Paul Collingwood in third. Paul Boyd in the number 17 car has dropped back a few places from his second row starting position, but look at this for the lead. Andy Hiley immediately coming back at Martin Gambling and taking the lead at Village. Paul Collingwood third. Fourth is the Mev of Stuart Mush. As I predicted, it has made up one place, but look at the size of this field as it streams through the Village hairpin for the first time in this 13-minute plus 1 lap race. It is not Andy Hiley leading, because at the link it's Martin Gambling that's got it back, so it's changed 3 times already in the space of the first half a lap. Collingwood third, Much fourth, and then it looks like Austin Greenway. It's now, well, is it the same colour? It looks a bit more greeny to me, that Elite Pulse in 5th position.
Going through Martin Gambling's mind, of course, going off the line would be, is anything else damaged just slightly down the line, mechanical line that we've missed on this? But he looks confident. Wide is the Hiley Kronos, which is going to hit his exit speed from the corner. Number 11 is closing in. That is the next of the Eclipses, with a rather flatter tail by the looks of things, a bit more downforce on the back of that one. They've kind of evolved a bit, haven't they, over the years?
Yes, an extended tail on Paul Collingwood's number 11 car as they come through, and Hiley gets a better run than Gambling. I could see out of our window through Farm Curve that time, and he may well therefore be able to get through. Yes, Hiley's back ahead of Gambling, so I think this is the 5th change of lead by my reckoning. We're only a lap and a quarter into this race. It's a fantastic bout between Martin Gambling, who started out his motor racing career in low costs, had some success thereafter in the Compact Cup, a number of podium finishes in that. Then he's shared the car with Matt Sherrington in endurance races on occasion, the BMW Z3, but now for about 3 seasons he's been running this Eclipse, and he showed great pace this season.
Class B led by 25, Chris Pike down in 12th place.
And Stuart Thompson, our championship leader, I noticed up from 26th to 19th on lap 1, so that's significant. And Ben Powney, I think, looks to be the best of the Mazda low costs at the moment in this very packed field.
Got a glimpse of one of the Cyanas, the car that's down the order Anton Landon, the car named after an African moth. But there's the Eclipse going through. It's 17, that's Paul Boyd, previous winner here at Silverstone.
He's over the line there is Boyd now. He's trying to get ahead of Darren Berris for 5th position as they come into Abbey, and he's made that work, I can see. So Paul Boyd now ahead of the V8 engine Westfield and up into 5th position as they started lap 3 of this race. Hiley, though it is, leading by just over a second from Gambling, but look at this, that's Liam, number 1, that's making up ground as well. So there he goes. He started 7th, has dropped back off the line, is now battling once again with Darren Berris in the V8 engine Westfield. Liam in the car that's moved classes from B to A during the course of this season. Procom Pele Gold. You can see the FRS Arrow going through, a car originally put together by John Moore, but it's Ben Coles racing this car this weekend. But in the foreground, the Mev now being overtaken by the Eclipse. But look at this, Austin Greenway there, that a 41 car go through. Then you've got the 2 Cyanas together of Anton Landon and Rob Johnston, who was a championship contender last season, but I think making his first appearance of the year.
They've been the kind of stalwarts of Cyanas over the years, haven't they? And it's actually Collingwood in third, isn't it, with that extended tail on his Eclipse. 64, yes, Landon in the white, rather bulbous looking Cyana. The orange, the ochre car, 82, is that, yes, Rob Johnston coming up very close at hand. But it's Andy Hiley extending his lead, 1.76 seconds over Martin Gambling. Paul Collingwood third and 11. Paul Boyd up into third, and the other quick Eclipse, that's number 17, 4th place. Stuart Much is 5th now in the Mev, the Mills Extreme Vehicles car, and then Austin Greenway.
Still Chris Pike leading Class B. He's in 13th overall in car 25. David Winter 2nd within that class. And Ben Powney 3rd within that class in the first of the Mazda low cost, further back down the order. But it's a tremendous battle sort of for the low reaches of the top 10, really. So you've got Liam 7th at the moment. Actually, he was 6th, I think. You've got he's now been overtaken by Austin Greenway and by Anton Landon as well. Darren Berris is just in behind, and Rob Johnston. Stephen Ward's there in the AB Typhon as well. Colin Charles is in another Cyana as well, so 3 Cyanas in fairly close proximity as well. This is one of the best sports specials races I've seen in the midfield for a little while, actually. That's Anton Landon, number 64, just ahead of 41 Austin Greenway.
He developed his own car, didn't he?
He did,
It had
a while back, yeah.
chain drive, I remember. Or, which championship was that for?
That was, I think that was the RGB Sports one. RGB, is it? Was it that? Was it?
Yeah,
He was out.
yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Oh, that's a problem for Nigel Brown there, number 10, but he gets going once again.
The omnipresent Nigel Brown.
Yeah, great stalwart. We've been racing in this championship and the predecessor.
Since the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Way back, what, 1980s, wasn't it, that it was inaugurated? Stephen Ward there, number 33, the Leicestershire man in the AB Typhon, trying to find a way past. He's ahead there of the 82 car of Rob Johnston. We've had 5 3/4 minutes of this race. I mean, by the way, we said it was a few years since this championship had raced on this circuit. The lap record, Clive Hudson, was a 1:14.18. Well, the best lap of this race so far is to Andy Hiley, a 1:13.06. Paul Boyd has done a 1:13.63. They're the only two drivers underneath that lap record mark so far. About halfway through this race. And it's Hiley that continues to lead, but watching the Elite Pulse there, which, yeah, it's definitely a green car now, isn't it, for Austin Greenway? I suppose that sort of makes sense. That he would have that colour scheme, threatening skies over Silverstone at the moment, though. As through past our commentary box, Abbey go the leaders once again. Not too much to choose between second, third and fourth, but Hiley's lead now is 4.6 seconds. Nigel Brown going through our shot there in 17th place. And here's the fight for 10th and 11th. Stephen Ward, 33, has just got ahead of Rob Johnson there and managed to retain that place going into Abbey that time. Liam is in 6th position. He was the champion last year from Class B, and he was racing effectively what is now a Mazda low cost still, what is now known as a Mazda low cost last season, switching to the Pro Comp L8 Gold for this year. 6 minutes to go in this race, plus 1 lap of course. And down the straight they come. That's Stuart Much at the head of the group in the MEV. Behind him is M. Then it's Anton Landon going very well in 7th place overall. Austin Greenway 8th in the number 41 Elite Pulse. 9th behind him is number 40 Darren Berris, and 10th 33 Stephen Ward, assuming he's still ahead of Rob Johnston. Andy Hiley's extended his lead now though to more than 6 seconds. Still not better, that 1:03.06.
Stuart Thompson 4th in the B class, improving from 8th where he qualified, the points leader.
As we were saying earlier on, he's not yet had a win in Class B this season, but had several podium finishes. He needs to get ahead of Ben Powney if he's going to do that today. New fastest lap of the race there for Paul Boyd, I notice, a 1:12.47. That's the driver that's in 4th place at the moment. And there he is. In fact, he's now in 3rd place. No, he's not. He's in 2nd place, because all of a sudden a big change there. The 3 Eclipses have completely swapped order, and Paul Boyd, who's found a lot of time, has got into 2nd place, and Martin Gambling has gone from 2nd back to 4th. Here's a replay of that. So Collingwood was ahead as they went into the village hairpin. And how did Paul Boyd get through there? Well, it was Collingwood went wide, Gambling tried to get past him, but Boyd just took his opportunity there and swept past both of them as they headed down towards the link. So fantastic move there from Paul Boyd to get up into 2nd position. But he's got to catch Andy Hiley in the Lee Dolby in one of the Mazda low costs, and Oliver Batten in another. Both getting warnings for exceeding track limits. Not yet up to penalty. Oh, is that Liam's car I could see in the background slowing and heading down the pit lane? Yes, it is. The bright orange car of Liam, number 1. The reigning champion, I think, has dropped out of this race and headed down the pit lane. Yep, dropping down our timing screens now. And also problems for, that's one of the Mazda low cost. I think that might be the Oliver Batten car that's pulling off on the side of the track at the Hanger Straight. Yes, it is. It's the number 81 car. So that's Oliver Batten, the man from Hexham in Northumberland, out of the race. He was about to be lapped, and now has been, by Andy Hiley, who is on his 8th lap here. Hiley, Boyd, Collingwood, and Gambling has dropped a long way back now, so I sense that Martin Gambling may have a problem, and I do wonder if that is the legacy of the dramas this morning.
It may well be, as the tyres have now got up to temperature and gone perhaps even past that. Tracking may be just very slightly out. I'm sure they've looked at everything they can given the time available. They were probably trying to just satisfy scrutineers that everything was nailed back safely.
Yeah, absolutely right.
To get him out in the first race at least.
A couple of the Mazda low cost there. I could see
44's broken.
Oh, that's another of the Pro Comps as well, isn't it? So that's two of those in quick succession. So that's Stephen Lansley now that has gone. As we watch Darren Berris do battle with with Rob Johnson here. So this is for 8th and 9th positions as they make their way back onto the pit straight. There's the race leader, Andy Hiley, down at the link. And there's a slow car that they are lapping that was keeping well out of the way. And I wonder if that was David Winter's car.
Stuart Much is gaining on Martin Gambling, who's in the 99 car running 4th. He's dropped to the back of that trio of Eclipses. And it's hit his championship points situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, certainly has. Gambling was on 78 points, 3 ahead of Andy Hiley, so he'll be behind Andy Hiley after this race if things finish the way that they are. Those two, about 10 points clear actually of Darren Berris. So that's the 33 car of Stephen Ward in 8th place, side by side for 9th between Darren Berris in the Westfield and Rob Johnson in the Sienna.
Those are two cars that do the same lap times, but in very, very different ways. The throbbing Rover-engined Westfield of Darren Berris has been very well developed over the years by the RAF man, and the sleeker Oka Sienna.
Highly lapping the number 23 car there. That is Samir Abid in the Mazda low cost, an ex-low cost championship racer. He did qualify quite badly, Samir Abid. Only did 1 lap in qualifying, so he will have had to have qualified by familiarity, or possibly did 3 laps at lunchtime. Not quite sure.
That gap has come dramatically down from 5.3 to 1.6 seconds. Andy Hiley must have been held up in traffic, and Paul Collingwood now coming after him in the 17 car that shows signs of some paint touch-up both ends.
Yeah, much slower lap from Hiley last time, wasn't it? 1:17.97. I've got yellow flags at Abbey. I'm not quite sure why, but we could have a grandstand finish here. They're down towards the Vale now. They should get
13's broken.
Oh, and that's one of the Cyanas, isn't it? That's Colin Childs that's pulling off there. So they're over the line again, and it's Boyd that's taken the lead. So he's done that down at the Vale. Boyd has got ahead there, so they're coming up to lap the Bradley Snow car, I think that is. But Boyd has taken the lead, so I think Andy Hiley must have a problem of some kind. 2 long laps there in the high 17s, low 18s. So he's had a problem late on in the race, and Paul Boyd has taken the lead. But Hiley's not given up. He's trying to go around the outside at Village Hairpin, but he's not able to defend that, I don't think. And Boyd in the Eclipse should go through as they turn back onto the Hangar Straight.
Yeah, you can see now the looked like the Hiley car washed out quite a bit coming onto the straight. Bit of understeer there.
So Boyd, who has won here 6 years ago, looks like he's could be on course to reprise that now. We've run out of the timed element of this race now. We should, in theory, have one more lap to go at the end of this, but we've been caught out by this today.
They've been playing catch-up, haven't they?
Yeah, so we'll see if this is indeed going to be the last lap board or the checkered flag this time. So down towards us they come at the Vale and through Club Corner. Hiley seems to have stuck with Boyd on this occasion. They come over the line and there's no flag. So last lap it is then. Of course, we've had a spinner just in front of our commentary box. That is the 31 car, yeah, which is Marcus Roskill in his Silver Phoenix. Yeah, he did. That's just in front of the leaders, and Hiley is back in front. Hiley's done it down into Village Hairpin. So whether that was a problem that's gone away, I'm not quite sure. But he's ahead now. He's got a few yards in hand over Boyd. Boyd, no, he's not close enough to claim the inside line through the link.
White car ahead of them, breathing quite heavily as it went down onto the Hangar Straight.
And no back marker between the two leaders now. That's not helpful for Paul Boyd. He's going with Andy Hiley, but I think he's just too far away here, isn't he, Marcus?
Looks like it. And as they sweep through Stowe, no, there's not. Well, there's a car. There's 2 cars off at up at the end of the link onto the Hangar Straight. Meanwhile, Andy Hiley looks like he's going to. By virtue of that very, very late lunge at Village, just time his attack perfectly to regain the lead and win this Protech Shocks Sports Special. championship round. So they've gone through, the checkered flag is out, and through they go then. So it's Hiley from Boyd by 3/4 of a second, 0.76, be pedantic. And then Paul Collingwood should be third.
Stuart Much, who was in 5th position, is off into the gravel trap
left
as
corner
well.
looks like it's deranged.
Yeah, that's deranged. That's not the body language of a happy man, is it? Getting out of the car either.
He looks far from grundled to me.
It does. And 33 Stephen Ward. Now, does that tell a story? Possibly. Was there a tangle there? Martin Gambling has come home 4th. Austin Greenway 5th. Darren Berry 6th. Rob Johnson 7th. By the way. Now, I think that we saw briefly a spinning car a few moments ago. I've got to feel that was Stuart Thompson's Caterham that spun. He's not yet come through. Chris Pike has won Class B in 8th place overall. Stephen Ward did get home 9th. Here is Ben Powney in the best of the Mazda low cost, and that is doing battle with Stuart Thompson now in the Caterham. So the championship leader coming into this weekend, but Ben Powney it's going to be that's going to come through to win the Mazda low cost part of the race as well, fairly convincingly, I think, in the end, over all of his Mazda low cost rivals. So. And the Class C for the MEV MX150Rs, that's been won by Gerard O'Donoghue in the end by virtue of the demise of Stuart Much on the last lap of the race. So I think a fairly attritional race, that one.
But there was outstanding action and some great overtaking, plenty of incident.
There was.
Drama.
There was. Let's take a look at the results in just a moment then of that Protech Shock Sport Specials championship race, which was won by Andy Hiley, completing 12 laps, 3/4 of a second ahead of Paul Boyd. Paul Collingwood in the second of the Eclipses took 3rd place, number 11, ahead of Martin Gambling, number 99, in 4th place. Austin Greenway in 5th place, number 41, ahead of Darren Berris, Rob Johnson. Chris Pike, the Class B winner, Stephen Ward and Steve Wells. Ben Coles in the FRS Arrow was 11th, ahead of Nigel Brown, who made up places during the course of that race. David Winter, Stuart Thompson, then Ben Powney, 15th overall, winning the Mazda low-cost part of the race. Gerard Donoghue, Martin Hayward, Stuart Murch, Anton Lansden and Martin Buckland rounded out the top 20. Looking a bit further back, Mick Grant and Steve Paddock was the second of the Mazda low-cost, number 57, in 22nd position overall. And 63 was James Millman, 3rd, ahead of Marcus Roskill, Bradley Snow, Alan Robinson, Samira Bridget Smart, Lee Dolby and Sylvia Much. She rounded out the first 30 cars. Quite a few non-finishers though, as we'll see. David Boucher did complete the race, but Colin Charles, Liam, Stephen Lansley, David Jones and Oliver Batten didn't. I think we've got our top 3 down in the pit lane, ready to talk to Josh Barrett.
Thanks Ian. Andy Hiley gets out of his winning car. We're having a bit of a chat with Paul Boyd. He's got a winner's garland from Leanne Fahey. Well done, Andy. Let's turn around here. Well done. A fantastic battle you had with Paul right at the end.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was coming. Last time I looked in the mirror, I couldn't see anything. We got them into the back marks, and I thought, I'll take my time. Before I knew it, it was alongside me. I thought, oh, I made a mistake here. And yeah, it was a battle. We got past each other a couple of times, but yeah, fortunately, I managed to turn it around.
Lots of traffic to deal with as well at the end.
Yeah, lots of traffic. You don't know where they're going, so yeah.
Well done, Andy, to Andy Hiley, our winner. Second place was Paul Boyd. Paul, you grabbed the lead right there at the end, but couldn't quite hang on the last lap.
Yeah, I had a little issue at the very beginning. I had no rear view mirror. So that's why at the beginning I had to drop back, because I can't see anyone on the right-hand side of the car. So yeah, getting past Andy was fantastic, but then defending it is nigh on impossible, because I don't know where he is. So
a good move you made on the 2 other Eclipse guys, where you passed them both in one go.
that was very sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah, we caught that on the screen.
I'll give credit there to Bridget Smart, who told me that's a very slow corner. So I took it slowly.
Well done on your second place. In third place was Paul Collingwood, and as I was saying to Paul, you had a good battle between the 3 Eclipses in the middle.
We did for a start, yeah, till Martin dropped out, and then I had a problem with my car, so I couldn't keep with Paul, so there was no point in trying.
Third place, so happy with that?
Yeah, really pleased, yeah.
Well done. Now let's have a look at some of our class winners. Our Class B winner was Chris Pike. Well done, Chris. Another class win. You, I think, debuted Dakar at Anglesey and now won twice here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think we've won 4 out of the last 5. Is it? So yeah, no, really pleased. It was the right decision, definitely, to move from low cost to sports specials. Matt at Pro Comps done an amazing job on the car, setup, development on it, and it's absolutely spot on. It keeps getting better and better as well. I mean, in the race we were able to sort of hang on to the Class A's. Couldn't really do a lot about them down the straights, but yeah, nevertheless, it was really good fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And this is a way you can progress within the 750 Motor Club, starting something like locals and then move into a quicker car.
Oh, definitely, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this is, well, this was a low cost. Obviously, it's not much like a low cost now. It doesn't look like one, and there's a lot of things in it. But yeah, the basics are there from a low cost, so it's just a case of dropping a different engine into it and moving on and enjoying it as well. So.
Well done. Somebody who was in a low cost was Ben Powney, and he was the best of the Mazda low cost, a new category for this year, Ben, but you were battling with some of the other guys out there as well.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I've not met all the Sports Specials guys yet. It's a bit weird when you do a new formula, as you probably know. But yeah, number 16, I've raced with him a couple of times, and to be fair, he's been brilliant. Yeah, I've loved it so far. I think the new cars have been brilliant. I don't know where the other Mazda guys were. I didn't realise I was actually in front until there was no one behind me, really, and I couldn't see anyone in the distance apart from David Winter. But no, it was really good fun.
And this is the car you converted from your low cost from last year?
Yeah, exactly right. Stuart at TSR converted it for us. Done a mega job as always. Car's looking good. It's going pretty well so far, but we'd need a few more really to make it a bit more interesting.
But like I was saying to Chris, it's something you can do within the 750 Motor Club, start from a category like low cost and then get a quicker car after you sort of learnt your craft.
Yeah, definitely. I think low cost is always great. You know, it's a great place to start. You don't get much more firm and fair racing than low cost. Yeah, and I think then once you've done that, anything should be relatively simple to an extent. But yeah, probably a bit more expensive. But yeah, there you go.
But you still like going back in the low cost? Think you're doing that next week?
Yeah, rumours out now, isn't it? Yeah, no, we're back in it next week. There was a bit of a deal I couldn't refuse, really. And Brands Hatch, it's only an hour away from me. I'm right down on the south coast, so anything that's within an hour is always a good thing because everything is always 3 hours plus. So, yeah, it should be good. I love Brands, so it should go well, hopefully.
Well done on you. Another win in the Mazda low cost. So that was Ben Powney, our winner there. Next up, it's Hot Hatch. So let's have a look at what that championship is all about.